Jacob, let's be honest, is a bit of a mummy's boy. He's a bit of a mummy's boy. And we're told that in the previous chapter that we looked at last week, that Isaac loved Esau because he was a man of the field. He was a hunter. He was strong. He was a man's man. Isaac loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now that favoritism, the father for the elder son Esau and Rebekah the mother for the younger son Jacob, that favoritism colors everything that takes place here. It colors every relationship and every action that is taken within the story that we're told here. That favoritism sets the tone of the family culture and underlies all of the relationships and all of the actions that unfold. It is a massive parenting fail. It is a massive parenting fail, that favoritism. Favoritism breeds resentment, bitterness, and division. It creates competition for affection. And let's look at Esau as the example in that. Esau is married. We find out in verse 26. His marriage is causing trouble for the family. Esau and Rebekah are not happy with his choice of wives. In chapter 27, verse 46, we're told that those Hittite women are making Rebekah's life unlivable. And so she conspires with Isaac to send Jacob away to go and find a wife from their own stock, if you like. And then in verse 28, Esau, realizing his mistake and how much he's displeased his father by marrying two Hittite women, he goes to Ishmael, Isaac's older brother, and takes a wife from there in the hopes that it would please his father. Esau is the favorite child of Isaac. And yet Esau, as a 40-something-year-old man, is still striving to get his father's blessing, is still striving to get his father's affections, still striving to please his father, even though he is the favorite. Why? Because when there is favoritism in the family, when you see favoritism being played out in a family like that, it creates competition for affection, and you're never sure of whether or not your affections, the affections that you have in the eyes of your parents, is secure. And I've seen that situation, that scenario, that favoritism play out in so many families. The truth is, where love is communicated on the basis of belonging and identity, there is security. When love is based on anything else, whether it be favoritism or deeds or good works, it will always come with insecurity, and Esau is an insecure man. To show partiality to one child over another is a sure way to destroy both. It is a sure way to destroy both. In verse 34 there, it talks about Esau going to his father, and Esau cries in bitterness, "Would you bless me also, Dad?" Even though he's the favorite son, he still longs for his father's blessing. And when he doesn't receive it, he resolves within himself to kill his younger brother. When favoritism is shown in a family, there is no surer way to destroy both. It creates competition for affection. Those children will carry the scars of that favoritism into every area and every relationship of their lives. Every area and every relationship of their lives. You've got to understand that everything we do communicates something. Everything we do communicates. Everything we do is telling a story. Years ago, and I've probably told you this before, I'm going to tell you it again. Years ago, I used to listen to a guy called Zig Ziglar. He's a motivational speaker, Christian guy. My dad was a salesman, and Dad used to love Zig Ziglar, and so in the car we would listen to tapes of Zig Ziglar. See you at the top. Born to win. These sorts of motivational tapes. Zig had some great stuff, some really good quality teaching. Zig used to say, "What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear a thing you say." What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear a thing you say. Everything we do communicates. Everything we do communicates. I've talked about how we roll as human beings in the brokenness of our lives. We desire things in our hearts. We have a desire deep within our hearts. And our will chooses that which the heart desires. The will chooses what the heart desires. The mind justifies what the will has chosen. The body enacts what the will chooses and the mind justifies. And the emotions grant you the reward of getting what you want. That's the way we roll. The heart desires, the will chooses, the mind justifies, the body acts, the emotions reward. That's how it works. And so our actions, that which our body inhabits, that which our body does, flows out from that which our heart desires. And so our actions communicate our loves. Our actions communicate our loves. The Lord tells us that as followers of Jesus, we are to be motivated by love. Love for God, love for neighbor. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. These are the two greatest commandments, says Jesus. Our entire lives are to be motivated by love. Love for God, love for the other. And that has implications for the way we parent. It has implications for every aspect of our lives. As parents, we need to make sure that our actions are communicating love for God and love for our children. And this is something we've got to wrestle with. If you've got young kids, it's something you've got to wrestle with. You've got to work it out. If your kids are older, it's not too late. You've got to work it out. Everything you do has got to communicate love. Love for God, love for your kids. When Jody and I started thinking about having a family, this was something that I really wanted to get my head around and be intentional in putting into practice. That everything we do with our children is motivated by love and communicates our love for them. And so I tried to distill that idea, this idea that everything communicates, and what we want to communicate is love. That's what we want to communicate. And so I came up very early in our, before Tommy was born actually, with a simple phrase that would drive everything. In our family, we show each other how much we love each other by the way we treat each other. In our family, belonging. Are you a member of our family? Yes. In our family, that's a belonging, that's an identity statement. We show each other how much we love each other by the way we treat each other. Our actions communicate love. And we do that by listening, being helpful, being kind. Hey, buddy. Yeah. And we drove that into our kids from the youngest age. In our family, we show each other how much we love each other by the way we treat each other. We do that by listening, being helpful, being kind. And so when it came down to our daily activities, we're able to communicate. We're doing this because of this. This is what's driving us. But when it came time to discipline, because discipline is an important act of love, right? You've got to have boundaries. If there's no boundaries, there's no love. You've got to have boundaries. So when it came time to discipline, we'd sit the kids down and say, now, in our family, we show each other how much we love each other by the way we treat each other. Were your actions demonstrating your love? No. Did what you just did there, did that communicate love? No. But you're part of the family, right? Yeah. You love the other person, don't you? Yeah. Well, you want to communicate that, don't you? Yeah. You see? So at both ends of the spectrum, the motivation for right action and the discipline for wrong action, all motivated around the principle of love. Now, Tommy's 13, Eva Rose is 10, he's just about to be 11. And I can say to them, in our family, and they'll rattle it off. And it's an instant corrective. I don't need to tell them it anymore. It's driven in there. They know it. They know it. They know it. They know it. Because everything we do is communicating something. God has communicated his love for us in the gospel. In this we know that God loves us and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. God has communicated his love for us in the gospel. And so we want everything to be motivated out of that love, out of that love, out of that love.